Boa tarde, pessoal. Como é que vocês estão? Luca também está de câmera aberta. E aí, Luca? Gente, temos uma novidade. No dia 19 agora, nós vamos estar fazendo uma pequena reuniãozinha aqui em Campinas. Quem tiver a disponibilidade de vir, será muito legal. Vão vir 10 universidades internacionais para conversar com a gente. A doutora Lara também vai estar presente apresentando programas da EFIGE. Então, a gente vai falar de Summer Camp, a gente vai falar de Franklin, vamos falar de todas. A ITD vai estar presente também no EFIGE Day. Então, eu acho que vai ser bem legal quem puder vir. Vou compartilhar aqui no chat o link com mais informações do evento para vocês. Tá bom, gente? Thank you so much, professor. Pessoal, boa aula. Thank you so much.
No problem. So we still have 3 minutes. I just quickly want to tell you what today's agenda is. The goal is that we want to create something like this that you see on the screen. So this is our goal. All right. So we're just gonna make a character animation, and then eventually we can use this the same criteria to create games like Pac-Man and things like that. I will show it. Probably it'll take me about an hour to just get to this point that I can show this. However, I need people to know a little bit of coding. If they don't, they just have to listen to me, and I kind of try to explain to them how I actually made this happen. I have like 6 different steps, and it starts from very, very small until we make it to this point. And then once we are done, I actually show you the Pac-Man game that I wrote like in less than an hour. It's not very pretty, but I will show it to you. And then basically the Pac-Man, the principle of creating a game is what I'm showing you right now. That's what we're going to be doing. Just before we start, can you tell me, like, people, obviously they must understand English to a point that they can understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I believe all the students here, they understand everything. Todo mundo está entendendo o inglês, está tudo certo para todo mundo? Bruno said yes. Only Bruno understands. Pessoal, vocês conseguem entender o inglês? Está tudo bem com vocês? Está tudo certo aí? Okay, thank you guys.
Awesome, because I only know a few words in Portuguese. It's like oi, tudo bem, and that's it. Like I can't speak any more than that. So I'm sorry, you have to just start speaking English, or at least like if you have questions, please raise your hand. I will answer you. We're just gonna start in 1 minute. So I see that we have 12 participants, considering the 2 staff people. There's like 10 students there. Or even less?
We should have more students. We have more subscriptions, but if you want to start at 5, it's okay. I think they're gonna come in a bit later, because people in Brazil usually start to come at the right time or later. So
I know. It's like in Iran, it is like that as well. Whoever is the latest is the most important. So
yeah, definitely.
we'll just wait. I don't have any problem. I can wait for a little bit, as long as it's okay with you. Just maybe you guys tell me when to start. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I am ready at any time.
We can wait maybe 5 more minutes.
Sure. Then we'll start at 12:05. I mean, like 5:05 your time.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna mute
That's
myself.
good.
Enjoy a Coke Zero until we start.
Perfect. Get energized.
Oi, pessoal, vou dar um recadinho para quem está entrando agora. Nós vamos ter uma reunião aqui na EFIG. Vai ser o primeiro encontro presencial pós-pandemia. Então vai ser bem legal. Estou mandando o link aqui para quem está entrando agora. Vai ser o EFIG Day. Vai acontecer no Hotel Vitória, aqui em Campinas, no dia 19, sábado. A gente espera vocês lá. Vão ter 10 universidades internacionais para conversar com vocês. A doutora Lara vai estar dando palestras sobre todos os programas da EFIG. Então vai ser um dia bem legal, recheado de informação, recheado de coisa boa. Então, espero vocês lá, tá bom?
All right, we have 4 more participants. I think like the 5 minutes wait did its job.
Yeah, and I think some more are gonna come.
So
But
do you
we
want me
can't
to-
wait that long.
All right. I think I'll start at 12:05, just kind of like start introducing myself and what I do and what we do at ITD Canada and all that. And then it just gives another 5 minutes for people to join, and then we start kind of like at 12:10. Is that good? I mean, 12:10 my time.
Perfect. Yeah, please, Mr. Gorji.
Sure. All right. So my name is Soheil Gorji, and obviously I told you I am originally from Iran, but I have lived in Canada for 25 years. I started working with computers about 38 years ago. So I guess none of you existed at that time, definitely. I am one of the very first computer engineers who actually started working with PCs. And I first started with a bachelor's degree in Iran, and then I got a master's and a PhD in computer science in Canada. I've been teaching in different universities, but it's been 22 years that I had my own college, ITD Canada, with the purpose of teaching people very practical things. So our system is a little bit different than universities. Like in universities, you get to learn a lot of different sciences, like math, physics, and stuff like that. And also, you know, like social sciences, whatever. In our college, we don't really engage with that. We basically teach people whatever they need to learn to get a job. I've been working in the computer game industry since 2000, year 2000. I think it's 22 years. I have worked with big game development studios, including Electronic Arts. I've been doing a lot of engines and stuff like that. And like game development is of interest of me. I have done a lot of computer communication, client server stuff. I've done everything basically because I've been in this for as long as I can remember. It's interesting to know that I never had any other job.
Cris,
but
senta
computer
aqui, senta
science.
aqui. Senta aqui.
All right. I think somebody had forgot to mute themselves. All right. So like I said, I've been a computer person or a computer expert since I was 17 years old. And therefore, it's been a long time. I never had any other job. I have always been a programmer, a network administrator, a network developer, database administrator, game engine designer, game engine developer, web developer, all of these stuff. I never actually worked anywhere else. And because I always was interested in teaching, I actually picked up teaching, and then eventually I had a college and stuff like that. So that's a little bit about me. I know that you guys are pretty young. A lot of you do not have a lot of experience in coding. That's fine, not a problem. What I'm going to show you is extremely simple coding. We start with something that is called HTML, which is hypertext markup language. And then what we do is that we see the output of the code that I'm doing inside a web browser. Basically, this environment that you see right here is Google Chrome. It's just a browser that you go check your email or you go to watch YouTube or whatever. Like, this is a simple web browser. The output of my work today is going to be shown in a web browser. There is going to be very, very little math involved today with this. The math is just as easy as adding some numbers with each other. And I'm going to use a technique or a coding exercise with JavaScript. So JavaScript, someone asked me, what is a script? A script is very, very simple code. It's not a programming language. It's a scripting language. It's like really easy to understand. And there is an interpreter for that code inside Google Chrome, and that's how it works. The goal of today is that I want to actually let you learn how to do this, how to actually see a character animating and moving on the screen. So basically, this is the goal for us. I'd like to do this, and that's the goal. But I start from a very, very, very simple point of view. So I have two different environments that I'm going to share with you. One environment is a text editor. A text editor is a place that I can actually write my code. So I start with something that I call step 0. Step 0 is just basically creating a page that has absolutely nothing in it. Okay, so we start from step 0, and I just titled it as make a simple HTML file. So I am going to create a page that does absolutely nothing. It's a placeholder for everything else that I would like to do, but I need to have some code to be able to show it on a browser. So in the text editor, I am creating the code, and in a browser, I'm showing you how that code works. Right now, I created the most simple, the simplest HTML file that you can possibly imagine. An HTML file is consisted of things that we call tags. So everything that you see I wrote here is considered a tag, and tags in HTML are surrounded by angled brackets. So these things that you see after the tags, they're tags, and they have meanings. Obviously, my outmost tag is HTML because I'm going to create an HTML file, and HTML file is like a person. A person has a head and a body, and HTML file must have a head and a body as well. So I'm creating an HTML file with head and body, all right? And this file is called step 0, make a simple HTML file. And as you see, I have it here. It's called step 0 HTML file. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drag and drop this thing into my Google Chrome. So as you see, it shows me a white page with absolutely nothing in it. Okay, this is the most simplistic. There is nothing simpler than this in HTML. Now, please write down in chat whether you understand what I'm saying or not. Just tell me, did you understand what I was explaining to you? Christian says yes. Bruno says yes. Everything okay? Good. Yes, Fernando, Isadora, Susie, Felipe, João, Melika. Everybody says yes. Okay, that makes me happy. So, all right. Technically, we have done absolutely nothing right now. But what we just showed, simple. All right. Sergio also says yes. I'm sorry if I say your names wrong. Please forgive me, but it's good to know your names. All right. So look at the next step. In the next step, I am going to create something that I call canvas. If you know English, canvas is a place that you can draw things on. So I'm just going to create a canvas to draw on it. And as you see in step 1, I just have the exact same thing. I have my HTML, I have my head, I have my body and HTML. I actually add one line into it. Okay. So what do I do in this one line? In this one line, I am going to create a canvas. The name of the canvas is going to be my canvas. I just call it my canvas. Okay. And my canvas has 1,250 pixels width and 640 pixels high. And it has a border with 1 pixel solid black line. So what I'm going to create, if I run this, it's going to show me an area around my, my page with a 1 pixel black line. That's all it does. And the size of it is 1250 by 640. So this is how I create this. I'm like, I would like to have a canvas. The ID or the name of it is going to be my canvas. The width of it is 1250. The height of it is 640. And the style of it is that it has a border with 1 pixel solid black line. This is an RGB code. If I put 6 zeros, it basically means black. And in advanced HTML, when you open a tag, you have to close it. So I'm actually closing the tag. You see that? I open a head tag, I close a head tag. I open a body tag, I close a body tag. I open an HTML tag, I close it. Similarly, I just open a canvas tag and I close it. All right. So just again in chat, tell me if you guys understand what's happening here. Just a simple yes or no would be okay. Christian, what do you mean you don't see it? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, but you don't see my screen, is that correct? All right, my internet is a little bit unstable because I am in Iran, but let's see, hopefully it'll come back. All right, wait a second, we have to wait. Hopefully it'll come back. Okay, I don't want to disconnect and come back. It looks like. All right, thank you, Susie. Let me know when it comes back. Maybe I unshare my screen. Okay, I'm going to share the screen again and hopefully you can see it this time. Can you see it? Everyone? Please? Okay, not yet is.
For me, it's not showing anything.
All right, I hear you. Okay, all right, so it'll come. Apparently it's very slow because I had the whiteboard about like 30 seconds ago. So it'll come. I'm sorry, I have to go through VPN and everything. Like internet here in Iran is very unstable. I apologize. I can't see this. Yeah, I can see the stuff that you're writing for me in the chat. Can you guys still hear me and see my video?
Yes, a bit ago it was a bit laggy. It was lagging a bit, but now it's perfect.
Okay, sure. Do you guys see my screen shared?
Yeah, we can see the Google Chrome, but the
Not the code. Okay, I see. All
yeah,
right.
not the code.
So, all right. Let me just change
It's
the
all white.
share. All right. Wait a second. All right. So now I'm just going to go. How about now?
Yes, it worked.
All right. Okay. So I see. I have to change the share. Okay, because I'm not the host. Apparently, I cannot switch in between, but that's fine. So you can see this. All right. Let me explain it again. This is the exact same code that I was showing you before. You see this code? This is the exact same code. It has a head, it has a body, same thing. It has a head, it has a body, but inside the body, I created a canvas. And my canvas has the ID. My canvas, the width of it is 1250 pixels. The height of it is 640 pixels. The style of it, it has a border with 1 pixel solid black line. Are you guys understanding what is happening here? Please write in the chat for me. All right, Bruno says yes. Fernando, Christian says so. Okay, Christian, can you tell me what do you mean by so? You just can unmute yourself and talk to me and let me know what the problem can be. Christian, can you hear me?
Hello, teacher. I'm trying to say because I understand and I don't understand in the same time.
You understand and you don't understand. Sorry, what part of it you don't understand? Can you explain a little bit more?
Because it's a little bit laggy, and then when you do anything, the screen stopped to film. I don't know how do I say this.
Okay, all right, I get it. Do you see the code right now? Do you see the code right now? Everybody sees the code right now?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, teacher.
All right. It's a very simple thing. I'm going to create a canvas. Imagine that I'm going to make a piece of paper that I'm going to draw on it, okay? This piece of paper that I'm going to draw on it, I call it my canvas. The size of it, the width of it is 1250 pixels, and the height of it is 640 pixels, okay? So 640 by 1250. It's a white canvas. Oh, sorry. So imagine that this is a white canvas, and then it has a border. The border of it is just one black line, a simple black line. So now let me show you. Let me change the share first of all. So now you should see the web browser. All right. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to drop that step 1 into this web browser. Okay, do you guys see this? So this is the size of it, right? 640 by 1250. Do you guys get it? 640 by 1250. All right, so people say yes. All I did is I just created a simple white piece of paper that I can draw on top of it. Okay, maybe I can change it a little bit, make it like 1200 by 600. Okay, I save this and then I go here and I refresh. Now you see it's slightly smaller, you see? Even I can make it 550. So I refresh and then you see it's smaller, correct? So it gives you the idea. There is a border, there is a piece of paper. If I change the share, You see, I changed it to 1200 and 550. This is like what I did. Are you guys all okay with this? You understand what happened? Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. So what I'm going to do in the next step is that I am going to draw a box, like a little rectangle, 50 pixel on the very top left corner of it. Okay. So in the next step, I would like to create a box on top left corner. And I'm going to show it on the screen. So how do I do that? I have to add a few lines of code to do this. Okay. And I have to use JavaScript. So this part that I highlighted is actually the code in JavaScript. Do you guys see my screen, like the screen for code? Do you guys see it? I need at least one yes. Okay, good. All right. So what am I going to do? I need to access this piece of paper. The piece of paper that I did this, I have to somehow access it so I can draw on top of it. Okay. In order to access it, I have to create some sort of mechanism that I can, kind of like a pen that I can go and I can draw on top of it. Okay. That's what I would be doing. All right. So what I'm doing is that I am going to create something in the memory of computer that resembles this. The thing that I'm creating inside the memory of the computer that resembles this area that I'm going to draw on it, it's called a device context. Okay. So in the technical term, we call the representation of this piece of paper in the computer memory, we call it a device context. In order to be able to draw on top of it, I am going to create a device context. So you see in line 8, what I'm saying is that, hey, I want to have access to this element called my canvas. Now you understand what I called it. I gave it an ID. So with this one, I am going to have an access to the canvas. And then I say this canvas is actually a 2D canvas, right? Then I create two variables for myself, the X position and the Y position. Are you guys familiar with Cartesian point finding system, the Cartesian system, which is like this? Like usually in math in grade 6 or 7, they actually show it to you. Are you guys familiar with that? Susie says yes. Okay, so let me show you something. Let me share the screen. Now we have a whiteboard, okay? Normally, when you go to math class, they tell you here is the Cartesian system, right? And this place is the center. We know it as the point for 0 and 0. I'm sorry, it's just so hard to write with mouse. But this is the Cartesian system that you learn in school, in math. In computer science, if this is my monitor, this is the Cartesian system. This is positive X, and this is the positive Y. So it's inverted. In computer system, it's inverted 90 degrees. And the 0 and 0, the origin is right here. Right here is the leftmost top corner of your screen. So the top left is 0, 0. This origin here is actually becoming like that. So we're still using the Cartesian system, but it is slightly different than what you learned in math. In math, you think that the positive Y is here and the positive X is here. Imagine that okay? All right. Everybody's cool with that? Just type a yes for me. Okay, awesome. So if I want to draw a rectangle here, I say I would like to draw a rectangle from 0 and 0, which I called it X position and Y position. And I want to draw a rectangle right here. Okay? So this is what my plan is. And now I go back to a new share. Here I say my X position is 0, my Y position is 0, and I want to create a rectangle. You see that on line 12? I actually make that rectangle inside the memory of the computer. I say I want to create a rectangle from 0 and 0 to 50 and 50. So technically, what I want to do is that this point is 0 and 0, and this point is 50 and 50. Okay? This point X and Y is 50 and 50. So that's the point with 50. It's 50 pixels. And that's the point with 0 pixels. So if I do this, it's going to draw a rectangle for me. But in order to draw, I have to use a function that is called stroke. So after I say how I want to draw it, I say strike it. So basically, I mean, hey, go to 0 and 0. This is 0 and 0, the top left. Like if I were there, this is the top left. And I say draw a rectangle from here with 50 pixels. That's what I'm doing. Is everybody okay with this? Do you guys understand what's happening here? Yes, yes, Susie, Malika, Christian, awesome. So it's easy, isn't it? Jawa, everybody, it's easy, isn't it? So here is the result of that. Let me just show it to you. Let's go here. The result is pretty simple. If I am drawing a rectangle, see, there is a rectangle right there. Do you guys see it? Super simple, correct? So not that hard. All right. So right now, I simply didn't do a lot. I just basically, I'll show you a screen and that's all it is. You guys are seeing my screen right now. I have done nothing. I only drew a rectangle, right? Now, what I want to do, I want to start reading information from my keyboard. And if a specific key is pressed, I want to do something about it. For example, you see this, do you know what cursor keys are? The ones that they move the cursor. There is like arrow keys. There is 4 of them, left, right, top, down, right? You guys are familiar with them, correct? Okay, so what I want to do, I want to start moving this box using my cursor keys. So the next step is I have to write a code that if I press on cursor right, it actually brings me to the right. And if I go cursor down, it just brings me down. If I go cursor left, it takes it to the left. Okay? So do you guys understand what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to start moving this box around the screen. Okay? All right. So let's see how we're going to do that. Everybody's okay? Just everybody, please say yes if you're okay. So I know you guys are okay. In other words, if you guys are not okay, please say no. I see a lot of yeses. Okay, simple. So I am going to change the share and I'm going to go to my code again. And this time, we're going to look at a little bit more code. So here is what I have made. So far, you understand that I had made a box on top of the screen. Okay, Christian, what do you mean by how? I'm just showing you how we're going to move it. It's very simple. Okay, JavaScript gives me a facility that I can read the keyboard. Okay, this facility is called unkey down. So the browser is capable of understanding what key is pressed. You see this line 54 here? I basically say, if you press a key, if you press any key on the document, go and do the move function. So the meaning of line 54 is, if you press any key on your keyboard, please go and run the move function. And move function is pretty simple. I created a move function between line 14 and line 45. So technically I say, if anybody pressed any key on the screen, just go and run the code that is in between line 15 to 45. Are you guys with me? All right, do you guys understand what's happening? Yes, okay. So far, so good. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay, so I am not interested in any key. As the programmer, I am not interested in any key. I am only interested in 4 keys. I only want to work with cursor right, cursor left, cursor up, and cursor down. Okay? I am only interested in 4 keys. Every single key on your keyboard actually has a code associated with it. Okay? Every single code that you press, every single key that you press, it has a code associated with it. Okay? And the 4 cursor keys are not an exception. They all have their own code. For example, the cursor right code is 39. Okay? The cursor left code is 37. The cursor up code is 40, and the cursor down code, the cursor down is 40, the cursor up is 38. Okay? You see this? All right, write in chat for me if you understand what I said. Every single key, this is what I want you to understand. Every single key that you press on your keyboard has a numeric code associated with it. Do you guys understand that? Thank you. All right. So you guys understand that I read from the book that the code that is associated to cursor right is 39, to left is 37, to down is 40, and to up is 38. It's easy, right? Okay. So now I basically say, hey, you know what? If somebody pressed key right, I want you to move the X position 5 steps. In other words, I'm saying if somebody pressed on cursor right, if somebody clicked on that button, I want to actually move this to 5 steps, like, you know, this is 50. So I want to move it to 5 place ahead. My X position is going to be 5 space ahead. Okay? Are you guys okay with this? Do you guys understand what's happening? All right. So it's pretty simple. I say whenever somebody pressed, whenever somebody's pressing, let's take a look at this. I say whenever somebody's pressing cursor right, I want to move it 5 space ahead. But I have a problem. This piece of paper that you see here, it has boundaries. It has a limit. I say every time somebody pressed on right, you have to jump 5. He presses on right, you have to jump 5 again, and 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 5. At some point, you get to the point that you cannot move any further. You just get out of the screen. Correct? So I have to understand when I'm pressing on right, I have to stop at some time. Do you guys understand that? Okay. Susie's good. Fernando is good. Christian is good. Joe is good. Bruno is good. Flip is good. Everybody's good. Okay. So here is what I'm saying. I'm saying if it comes to the point that my X position plus 50, because when I do the X position here, I'm going to draw a line with 50 pixels. So I say, whenever my X plus 50 is becoming more than the width of my paper, I just want to step back 5 plays. Okay, so I say keep adding 5 to it, because every time I press on this cursor right, it adds 5 into it. I do it until I can do it. This if that you see between 20 and 23, it just basically tells me if I'm going to get out of the screen, I have to stop. I'm not going to add the 5. The 5 that I added, I'm going to decrease it. So I'm going to stop. Okay, are you guys okay with that? Type yes for me, please, if you're okay. Isadora, Zhao, Christian, Fernando, Felipe. So I'm assuming that everybody's okay. Susie says okay as well. So here is what's happening. I'm going to show you the result of this. So let me just share the screen. And now I'm just going to bring the step 3, which is moving the box. Okay, so now I'm pressing. Do you see this? Do you guys see this? It's moving. And it moves until it cannot move anymore. See, I keep pressing, but it doesn't move, right? And then I can do the other one as well. And I can go down as well. And I can go up as well, and left as well, and right as well, okay? So let's just go and take a look at the screen again. Do you guys see my code now? Yeah? That's so cool. I understand. I know it's cool, isn't it? And it's very simple. So I am using the same analogy. I'm saying that if you're using cursor left, then I have to decrease 5 from where my X is. Okay, so technically I say, if you're pressing on cursor right, you have to go 5 ahead. If you're doing on cursor left, wherever you were, you have to go 5 back. If I'm going down, you have to go 5 down. Obviously, you have to add to Y. If I'm going to do up, you have to go 5 back, which is 2Y. And that's exactly what I have done in the code. So I said, if you're going toward right, then you have to add 5 to X, unless you can't do it, which you don't. Then if you're going to go left, then you have to decrease X. You decrease it until the edge of the screen. The edge of the screen on this side is 0. On that side is width. So if your X is less than 0, you have to stop. If you're doing cursor down, then I have to add Y. Instead of add to X, I'm adding to Y. And if I'm doing cursor up, I have to go up. And again, I am controlling and making sure that I don't get out of the boundary, okay? Is it clear for everyone? Yes? Awesome. I love it, Bruno. It says crystal clear. Isn't it so cool? So like it took us 35 minutes and we're actually having a moving box, okay? All right. Okay. Now, it's really cool, I know. So now, what I want to do is that instead of a box, I would like to draw a picture, okay? But I don't want to draw the whole picture. I want to draw a part of a picture. The picture that I have looks like this. Let me share the screen. Do you guys see this picture? Are you guys with me? Do you guys see this picture? Let me see. I lost my controls. Okay, let me just put you up there. So everybody sees the picture. Doesn't it look like a movie? Like it's a moving picture. You see this guy is just walking a little bit. Every picture is slightly different than the other one. Okay, so if you really see, why do we call a movie? Because it's like many pictures and we move them really fast. If I take a look at every piece of this picture 1 second at a time, it gives me the illusion of this guy walking. Do you guys agree with me? Yeah. Okay, good. So this is the plan. At first, I would like to show you this part. At first, I would like you to show you this part, only this part. And then what I'm going to do, every 1 second, I'm going to replace that with the picture after it. Replace that with the picture after it. Replace that with the picture after it, with the picture after it, with the picture after it, with the picture after it. When I make it to here, then I go back all the way here. And I keep doing it every 1 second. And then when I do this, you think that the guy is moving. All right? Are you guys okay with this? Yeah, so you understand the concept. Awesome. Okay, so here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a part of this picture. Okay. Now, I added a little bit to the file that I had. I did a margin and padding. I can totally get rid of this so it doesn't confuse you, right? You guys understand that I created a canvas. Okay, I created a canvas and I got to the context of it. You're familiar with these lines. These are all repeated, okay? Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to create an image object. I'm going to create that image and show a part of it to you, okay? I'm going to create, like I'm going to read a part of that picture into the memory and show it to you. When I look at this picture, I actually have the width and the height of it. Okay, and then I start calculating because this picture is very symmetrical, right? Every single piece of it is equal to the other piece, and it has to be. Otherwise, I see a flickering picture. So I basically saw every single part of this picture that I would like to draw is 184 pixel by 325 pixel. So this is 184, this is 325. This is 184, this is 325. This is 184, this is 325. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Awesome. So every single piece of this picture has a specific size. So Guilherme is just added to, has just been added to this. So, all right, I'm going back to my code. So you see these numbers that I said, 184 and 325? You see that? It's like I go from 0 to 184 and 0 to 325. So I just keep, if this is the entire thing, I only keep one piece of it for now. Okay, so here is what I'm going to do. I basically say I am creating an image object. The image object, when I am loading, when I am actually going to this page, I am just going to draw the image. What image? My image is called Annie Sprite PNG. The name of that image that I showed you is called Annie Sprite. Sprite is basically all pictures that they have different sections. We call them a sprite. Look at this. The name of this file is anniesprite.png. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, hey, my picture, the entire picture is called anniesprite.png, but I don't want all of it. What I want is the first piece of it. I want from 0 and 184 and 0 and 325, and I want to draw it from 0 to 84 and 0 to 325 on my canvas. So instead of a box that I was drawing there, now I'm going to show you, I'm going to draw a piece of this picture, just the first piece of it on the upper left hand, okay? And I call it frame 1, okay? I call it frame 1. And then what I do, every 10th of a second, every 100 milliseconds, I am going to update this picture. Okay? Now, tell me, do you guys understand the idea of what I'm doing? I basically drew the first picture here, the first piece of picture, and then every 10th of a second, every 100 milliseconds, I'm going to update this. Okay? Do you guys are you guys already familiar with the idea of what I'm doing? Yes, yes. Yeah, does anybody have a problem here? Oh no, good, good, good. I see everybody says yes. Okay, so what's happening is that every time that I'm going to do this update, that means every 100 milliseconds, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move one frame ahead. I was on this frame, now I want to go to this frame. Now I want to go to this frame. I know that every frame for me, the width of it is 184. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, hey, every time, every 10th of a second, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to multiply that frame by 184. So when the frame is 1, I get the first frame. When the frame is 2, I go here. When the frame is 3, I go here. I do it until I make it to frame 8. When that happens, I go back to frame 1. And this is what I have done. I say, keep adding to the frame until you make it to 8. When you make it to 8, put it back to 1. And then what I'm going to do, in order to see this illusion, I have to clear the screen and then redraw the second page, the second part as well. So this is, if this is my picture, I draw this part, then I clear everything, and then I draw this part. Then I clear everything, and then I draw this part. Then I clear everything, and I draw this part. When I'm done here, I clear, and I go back here. So that way, because I do it 10 times every second, it's going to show me as if the guy is moving. Are you guys clear on what I said? Yes, yes, good, yes. I need a couple more yeses. So if you guys are with me, all right, awesome. So now look what is happening here. Look what's happening here. I am going to go to my web browser. Do you guys see this? Now, what I'm going to do is that I am just going to go and I draw the picture frame here. Look, do you guys see the guy is moving? Yes? Do you guys see the screen? Awesome. It was easy, wasn't it? Instead of a box, I just drew a piece of the picture and then I kept changing it. Isn't it cool, guys? It's super cool, isn't it? Now, tell me, guys, if I want to move it, what should I do? I already had the box moved. All I have to do is just get that move part in the code that I wrote for cursor right, cursor left, cursor down, cursor up, all of that. All I have to do is just copy that code into this and then make it work. So I go back here. I go back to my code. All right. And I show you the next step. In this step, it's exactly the same thing. I did all the update and everything. But what I did is that I brought that piece of move code here. Remember, I explained this to you. I actually add 1 to X when I'm moving forward, and I decrease, X when I go backward. I already had explained it, right? So obviously, if I run this one, I should be able to move the guy. So I go back to my browser. I go back to here. And then I'm just going to drop the next step into here. All right. And now look, my guy is moving. He's running. Okay. He's going down. And I can move him toward back as well. All right. Instead of that box, I am actually, instead of the box, what am I doing? I am just moving the character. Are you guys okay with this? Nice. Good, good, good. It was easy, wasn't it, right? It was super easy. Is there anyone who has problem with this? See, Susie says it's really indeed easy. So making a game is not really hard. You don't need to be a mathematician. You don't need to know a lot of math. All you have to do is just a little bit of basic information, and then you can make a simple game. Or at least for now, we just created a character. All right, that is moving. But what I like, I'm not too happy with this. I want the guy to turn his face when he goes to the right and turn his face when he goes to the left. Of course, Susie, it needs practice. Of course, I've been practicing it for like 38 years, and that's how it's easy for me. Okay, so yeah, but the principle is super simple. The principle is simple. However, if you practice and if you see my code, it's all good. Now, tell me, what do you think I should do if I want to get the guy to go the other way around? What do you think I should do? Anybody has any idea? Susie says that she doesn't know. Anybody want to help me? It's okay. It's okay. Yes, Guilherme. Guilherme says, I think you need to flip the image. And sure, I need to do that. So look at this. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to show you this part. See, I have a file that is called AnySprite, right? I have another file that I called it AnySprite R. That means AnySprite right. Let me show you this file. So I basically used Photoshop and flipped the image. And let me show it to you. This is this guy. So I flipped the image using Photoshop. All I did, I went to the Photoshop and I just said basically, what do you call it? Rotate it 90 degrees. So it became like that. All right. Now, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do if I want to get the guy to go to right when I'm clicking on cursor right, and when I want it to go to left, I have to do cursor left. What do you think I should do? Where in the code do you think I should change? Anybody has any idea? It gets a little bit tricky, so it's okay if you don't have any idea. The negative ones, I'm not sure what you're implying, Susie. Not necessarily the negative ones. It's just, where do I control my movement? I control my movement when I'm clicking on the keys, correct? Are you guys with me? Right? I control the movement by cursor keys. So when I'm going this way, I have to show the normal picture. When I'm going this way, I have to show the reverse picture. That's what I'm going to do. So now in this code, I'm going to have two pictures. As you see, I have one picture that is AnySprite and I have another picture that is AnySprite R. I called one of them image array 0 and I called the other one image array 1. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I go to where I am. I go where I am moving. I am moving the cursor. If you're doing cursor right, I am using the normal image. If you're doing cursor left, I am using the reverse image. For cursor up and down, I don't do anything. I don't have to change anything to go up and down because all I did is just for left and right. If I wanted to change it for up and down, then I had to create two more different pictures for up and down. I didn't want to do that. So now let's see how does it look if I am dropping it right here. Now look at this. This is the very last step. It took me 46 minutes to do this. Look at this. I'm going right. It goes right. I'm going left. It goes left. Do you guys see this? But up and down, he doesn't change anything. Left and right, he does. Do you guys get this? See how easy is that? It's easy, isn't it? Hey, cool. We kind of made, you know, an animation working in 41 minutes, I think, or 46 minutes. Okay. Are you guys happy with this? You kind of sort of understood. It would be difficult for you to do it, I understand, but as long as you understand this, my purpose of this class is over. We just did something fun in like 40 minutes. Okay. All right. Now, let me just show you something that expand this. Like with what you learned, now we can actually do other stuff as well. For example, look at this. I have created a tic-tac-toe game before. Same technique, but tic-tac-toe is easier. Look at this. This is a tic-tac-toe game. Okay, so I have X and O, and X and O, and X, and it says, oh, really, O wins. Okay. I mean, the scale is not necessarily really good, but if I refresh this, I can do X and O. It's the same technique. See, when I was drawing boxes, I can also draw circles and I can draw lines. With a little bit of code, it actually took me less than an hour to write this code as well. Ah, Christian, thank you. And I can actually show you something else, which is pretty cool as well. I did a Pac-Man game. It's a little bit flickery, but I only did it tonight, like in less than 40 minutes. See, this guy, it goes up and it goes down. You see this? So the guy, and then the ghosts start following him. If I actually let him stop, the ghosts are going to catch him, and then the game is over. All right. You see, guys, you can do, like with the same technique that I showed you, you can do really cool stuff in short time. You guys get this? There you go. So I just want you to pay attention that I can go up and down and left and right. With this one, I actually have 4 different pictures. You guys see this? Uh-huh. I am actually running away from ghosts. Please don't catch me. Please, please, please. Oh, come on. No, I don't want to go there. Ah, done. Okay. Right? Are you guys having fun? Yeah. So that was easy, wasn't it? Right? So I made another game because I just like to make games. I made another game. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the game of Mensch, but I have done it. Let me see. I don't know if this is actually the complete game. All right. Are you guys familiar with this? This is like a game that I used to play when I was a kid. This is called the Mensch Game. It's a German game. And then, you know, like you have 4 players and they're moving. See, I'm actually doing all of this. I'm running a die. I think this is not my final version. It just took me a while, but you know, it's just basically creating a canvas and drawing on top of it. That's all it is. I'm just telling you, like with the very same technique that I showed you, it's really interesting to see that you can do like multiple different games. Very simple games here. Tic-Tac-Toe, Pac-Man, and Mensch. I've done all of them in less than an hour. Okay. So, yes, you are not able to write these things today because you just learned it. But, you know, like I have a 40-hour course that I teach all of these stuff to my students. So if you want, you can learn them. They're easy. You don't have to be a scientist before you can make a game. And you saw it. I mean, this is the simplest platform. We don't really code a lot. It's just HTML and simple JavaScript and Canvas. Even you guys did not know any code, but you understood what I'm trying to do. And I guess we achieved what we wanted to achieve. And the whole thing is that creating games on computer is really, really, really fun. And it's not hard to learn it if you have a good teacher. And I hope I was a good teacher and you learned from me something at least. All right. Perfect. So does anybody have any question? You can unmute yourself and ask questions if you want. No? The FEG team, you guys, are you guys okay? Are you guys here still? Yeah, so I am done for whatever I had prepared. It was just like how to make I think we're on time. It's just I am 2 minutes overboard, but I think I'm on time, right?
Yeah, it was perfect. Perfect timing.
Good. Okay. All right. So I don't know if you guys want to have any comment at the end of it, but I am done with whatever I have prepared for you guys.
Yeah, we could. Do you think we could spare some time for questions if the students have any?
Yeah, I asked them. They were all good. Christian thinks it's very, very cool class.
Yeah, I think they really liked it.
Awesome. I really like to be with you guys as well.
Yeah,
No
it was
problem.
really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, our character is still moonwalking.
Yeah, he keeps walking. I could just move him. I can move him a little bit to the side. So he just kind of like rests up there. See?
Yeah.
He's just going to be there.
It's really fun. It was really fun. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Gorji.
No problem.
I think the students really appreciate it.
Cool.
If any of you guys have any more interest in this, I recommend you going to ITD's website, ITD Canada. They're a really good institution, and yeah, it was an FEG project, but we thank Mr. Gorji and ITD. Really thank you for your time and the opportunity to give such a different class to our students, to our Brazilian students that are not really used to it. And yeah, that's it. Just appreciate it.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much for listening to me for about an hour. Enjoy your afternoon. And it was a pleasure just being with you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gorji. Just a minute, guys. I'm just gonna, for the ones who didn't hear about FEG Day, just gonna talk about a little bit more. Então,
Portuguese.
Sorry?
You can speak Portuguese.
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch the language now. Então, no dia 19, que nem a Melka falou no começo da aula, não sei se todo mundo estava aqui, a gente vai ter um evento presencial no Hotel Vitória, ali no Cambuí, não sei se vocês conhecem. A gente vai trazer mais de 10 instituições estrangeiras, a ITD vai estar lá também. E a gente vai apresentar também alguns programas da IFIG, que alguns de vocês já conhecem, como a Franklin, o programa de aconselhamento, os nossos intercâmbios. E é uma boa oportunidade para quem tem interesse mesmo em internacionalizar o currículo. Eu sei que muitos de vocês ainda não estão na fase de pensar tanto assim no longo prazo, no higher education, mas eu acho que esse é o timing de começar a pensar nisso e se diferenciar, né? Porque eu acho que não é todo mundo, não é todo brasileiro que tem essas oportunidades. E, enfim, eu recomendo muito que vocês vão, vai ser muito legal. E acho que é isso, gente. Muito obrigado para quem veio. E eu espero que vocês tenham gostado da aula. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Gorji.
Muito obrigado.
Bye, Susie. Teacher Susie.
Great. Awesome. All right. I'd like to, like for FEG team, if you get a feedback from this, I would love to hear about it. Like the pros, the cons, whatever. I'd love to hear about that. So please share it with me.
Yeah, we'll make sure to do it.
If you want to study at our institution, this is basically our style. We just do very, very hands-on, and we just work step by step by our students until they learn. So we'd be happy to see you guys at school if you ever wanted to be. Awesome.
Okay. Thank you.
Good
Have a good
evening.
night.
Bye-bye.